Oh, hey there. It's me, Sierra, the pool toy. Um, are we feeling lost? It's really easy with social media today and seeing everybody and the way their lives are. Seems like everybody else has their act together. Seems like they're all living their purpose, working toward their dreams. And we don't feel the same. We kind of feel like we're without purpose. We are missing a lot. And that tends to make us feel like there's just something wrong with us. And that can be really disappointing. One of these things that we tend to do when we feel this way, we see everybody else going in whatever direction they're going in, but we feel lost, is that we try to externalize the solution. And a lot of people use this phrase of, I want to find myself. That's not how this works, unfortunately. There is no mystical, magical, better version of you that is right over there. And you just have to find yourself. And you just touch yourself on the shoulder and poof, magically you're this completely different version of you that is just better, more satisfied, and happier. No, that's not how this works. No, there is no magical cure-all revelation that's going to change your life overnight. You're suddenly going to have talents you've never worked on. You're going to have interests that you've never looked into. And you're just going to become a better version of you just because you found yourself, which is not a thing. No, unfortunately, it's going to take energy, it's going to take effort, and it's going to take you working on you. Which is probably why most people don't really do it. It's uncomfortable to change. And even if you're not even really that comfortable in your current situation with how you feel about yourself, for a lot of people, the discomfort to change is worse, which is why they don't do it and they end up staying that way. But I want to encourage you to try. Because I think that you have a lot to offer. And the best part of this is, if you feel lost, like you don't have purpose, now you get to pick. You're not starting from scratch with this. You already had a little idea of what your ideal self was going to be and you were going to be as soon as you found yourself, which still isn't a thing. So what are these qualities that you're hoping to nurture? Are you kind? Are you strong? Are you artsy and creative? Are you empathetic and understanding? Are you stoic and logical? These are all things that we can treat as if we're designing a new character, our favorite character. What are the attributes that you are most focused on that would be better than whatever it is you're doing right now? And once you have these attributes and features and characteristics that you would like to have for the new you, the good news is you get to start working on it right away. You don't need a billion YouTube tutorials or tons of books or a mentor just to get started. If you want to get more fit, that's very simple. Eat less, move more. Unless you're not eating enough, then you can eat a little bit more, but eat healthy. You want to become an artist? Grab a pencil, grab a piece of paper. It doesn't matter if it's blank or if it's lined paper. Put a pencil case or a plant or something in front of you and try to copy it. Or another picture from a furry artist, copy them. And just give it a try. The bodybuilders of the past and the famous artists of the past, they didn't have the fancy internet where all the information is already kept. Now you can use that, but the first thing you got to do is just get started. So rather than delay yourself by getting caught up trying to gather all this intel, you just got to get moving and you got to start working on yourself. And the best part is that now you are defining yourself. You are in charge of who you are, and you get to work on the things that are important to you. You know, those are skills. What about the other attributes that I'd like to develop? You know, like kindness, or discipline, or wisdom. How do I get any of those things? Well, kindness is wanting the good of the other person. It's not being nice. You know, a parent disciplining their child might not be nice, but it is kindness for the parent to establish boundaries with their child and correct bad behavior. So that's important. It is still a kindness to discipline. Now, wisdom is just part of your general experience pool. You know, you're going to try things, you can experiment things, you can learn how things work, and, you know, you discover how those things connect to one another. If you attempt something and it fails or succeeds, you sort of analyze why it worked or why it didn't. You know, that all adds up to your wisdom, and that's something that's definitely comes with time, but it definitely helps to accelerate it by definitely doing more things and trying new stuff. Discipline, there's a million tutorials on YouTube if you feel like using those. In general, it's just sort of establishing a routine for yourself, working toward whatever goal it is that you want to work on. But it's more just making it a routine where whether or not you really feel like doing it in the moment, you will still sit down and try it. If you're a writer, you'll sit down with a blank page of paper and you'll sit there for 20 minutes while kind of thinking about it, as opposed to sitting there for 30 seconds and then walking off to play video games. Ultimately, to try to wrap this up, what I'm trying to tell you is that there is no perfect you out there. There is no magical version of you that's just outside on the sidelines where you just have to find yourself. And if you just do that, then you'll be somebody totally different overnight. You'll suddenly be an improved version of yourself. You'll be happier. It's just not how it is. No, we're gonna have to put in some work. And you're gonna find some qualities about yourself that you want to improve. And there's also gonna be some qualities about yourself that you want to work on and sort of do less of the negative things. And that's great. Because the best part is that you're picking for yourself and that you get to define who you are. There is no outside version where you're finding yourself. You are defining yourself. So, this is your happy little purple pool toy hanging out at the beach. I guess I should probably be at a pool, but here we are. Maybe that's something I can work on. I can find some more pools. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful night.